What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Seance. Thank you for joining me for the first inaugural episode of Semetary Seance podcast. In this episode, I'm just going to do a quick introduction and what I plan to do on the podcast. My name's Dallas, aka Damned Saint. I decided to do this podcast because it's a good way to pass time in isolation because of these crazy fucking times we're in. I'm going to be talking about music I like. I like all kinds of music. Growing up when I was 5 years old, I remember listening to a bunch of old school Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash and stuff like that with my dad. And then as I got a little older, my mom and dad split and I started listening to country music, the kind of stuff that my mom Lori Morgan, Charlie Major, George Strait, Alan Jackson, stuff like that. And then in the 90s, when the whole pop music craze came out, I don't know what to call it, but hells to the I jumped on that fucking bandwagon hard, man. I liked all the pop stuff of the 90s. When I was about 12, I moved in with my sister and they listened to a lot of rap and hip hop, and that's what I was into at that time. I liked NWA, Dr. Dre, Juvenile. I liked a lot of stuff. And then when I moved with my dad when I was about 14, started hanging out with my cousin, and he played guitar. And I remember the first time we first started hanging out, I was playing Dreamcast in his room. I think I was playing House of the Dead 2, and he had his guitar on his bed and he was tuning it up and shit. And then he put a CD in his stereo and he started playing a song. I knew what it was. He was playing fucking Wherever I May Roam by Metallica, fucking great song. And then he started playing along with it, and I was immediately like, holy fuck, you got to teach me how to play. And then he taught me my first song, which was Uncle Cracker, I believe, yeah. And then that started on a whole nother journey of me learning how to play guitar, and which I've been playing for about since I was 14, and I am nowhere near as good as I should be, but I keep trying. So yeah, that started me off on me loving metal. And where I got a lot of my music from, I used to buy these magazines called Revolver, and it's all about rock, metal, stuff like that. And I'd buy them every month because we lived in a small reservation out here in Saskatchewan. Going to the city, it was always, a good time for me to either buy some new music, buy new movies, or I would always buy Revolver magazines every month. I'd read them cover to cover, and I would find, new bands to check out and all that. Every time I'd see a song title that I thought sounded cool, or an album name that I thought sounded cool, or an album cover I thought looked cool, I'd find the album, listen to it if I liked it. That really started me on, really checking out new bands, because before that, it was all about Metallica for me. And right now, I got about maybe 6 or 7 favorite bands that I can honestly say I really loved. The first one, obviously, being Metallica. Fucking love those guys. Love their music. Fucking great music. Pantera was another big one. My friend Mike, when I was in high school in Saskatoon, there was this place called Delphi, somewhere like that in Saskatoon, in a little strip mall on 22nd, I believe. But there you could go. They had a bunch of CDs and stuff, and you pick one that you want, and they would record it for you for cheap and hook you up with the recorded disc. And I thought that was cool. So we went there. Actually, I think it was Treaty Day. I can't remember what year, but I got $50 because I didn't get it. And then we went there, and he was like, you got to check this one out. Got them to record me Reinventing the Steel by Pantera. And I started listening to it. I was like, fuck, this is heavy. I like it. And then that was one. I'll get into a whole thing with Pantera on another video. Maybe I'll talk about just them. And then after that, it was them two primarily for a long time, Pantera and Metallica. I listened to fucking a lot of other stuff, but it was mainly those two. And then around 2004 or 5, I got into Lamb of God. My brother, he was listening to this song on his PSP, and he was like, "Here, check this out." And he gave me his earphones, and the song he played me was Laid to Rest, and I was immediately floored. I loved what I heard. I was like, holy fuck, this is heavy. And then from there, I think I remember seeing him in Guitar Magazine with Steve Vai and Zach Wilde. His name was Alexi Lejo. I remember seeing him in that book and being like, okay, who the fuck is this guy? And then around 2004, somewhere around there, I remember I listened to a song. I think it was their cover for the Final Countdown. And I was like, okay, I didn't even know who the fuck Europe was or anything like that, so I didn't know it was a cover tune. Didn't pay no mind, and then I heard a song called Bed of Razors, and the keyboard part, I remember my cousin was sitting there playing GTA. We heard the keyboard part of the intro, Bed of Razors, and we kind of stopped, and then we heard the guitar come in with exactly what the keyboard was doing, and it fucking floored us. We were like, holy shit. After that, I bought all the albums, listened to them, and loved Children of Bodom. And a lot of people don't really like that band, and I guess it's, preference, you like them, you don't like them. I personally love them. I think it was around 2007, I think it was, I heard One Cent from the Golden Hall from Amon Amarth, and I was like, I don't know if I like this, man. And then I think it was 2008 when they came out with their Twilight of the Thunder God album, and I heard that song, and I was like, man, this is actually pretty good. Then I heard Guardians of Asgard, and I was fucking floored, man. I couldn't believe how awesome that song was, and I got into their whole back catalog, and lo and behold, they're my favorite band now. I fucking love them. Maybe that'll be another band that I do on another video. And right now I'm really big into a band called the Birthday Massacre, like the whole gothic metal or gothic rock, whatever they call themselves or whatever you want to call them. All I know is I fucking love them, man. I love the singer's voice. I love the music, atmosphere. It just sounds cool. What else I plan to do here? Maybe album reviews, like new album comes out or talk about a specific album. That would be one thing I'd like to do. Specific band talking about, like I said, either Metallica or Pantera. Sometime down the line, if it ever gets to that, if local bands wanted to come onto the show and talk with me or whatever, maybe that would be something that I'd like to do. Or if anyone wanted to, that'd be awesome. Talk about movies, new movies that came out that I checked out, some that I like, some that I don't like. What I like about my favorite movies, talk about like lighting, scene analysis, camera angles, storytelling, stuff like that. Even with TV shows, talking about stuff like that. Some of my favorite movies, like one of my favorites ever since I was a little kid is Return of the Living Dead. Fucking great zombie movie. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Maybe I'll do a video on nothing but that movie. Another one is Pet Semetary. I love that one because it fucking terrified me as a little kid, man. The Sister Zelda, oh my God, still gives me fucking nightmares. But that movie I watched when I was a kid and I loved, and that's what I liked about it. It stuck with you, and that's what I think some movies, if not all, are missing these days. They rely too much on the jump scares. They don't give you shit that really fucking sticks with you, and that's what I like. I also like movies with practical effects, like Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead when he gets ripped in half, fucking cool. One thing I don't want to say I can't stand because sometimes it's done really fucking good is CGI effects. I love practical effects. Could talk about video games and animation, stuff like that. Video games that I like are some of the old school ones, like old school Nintendo games. I remember I think one of the first game consoles I ever owned or ever played was a Nintendo NES, and it was the Super Mario Bros. 1 and Duck Hunt. And then I remember going on to the classics, Super Mario Bros. 3. I've never really been into Super Mario Bros. 2, but it was still a great game. The Super Nintendo, like Super Mario World, still one of my fucking favorite games. Me and my family do game nights with the SNES Classic, and I put Dr. Mario and everything on there, and we have fucking awesome times with that. And now it's, PlayStation 4, like I got one. I play some games. I don't really play that much games nowadays, but fucking Resident Evil 7, fucking awesome game. I play that and it's fucking cool. Resident Evil 2, still fucking good, fucking great game. Resident Evil 3, looking forward to Resident Evil 8. Still wondering if I'm going to buy a PS5 and get that game, but we'll jump that bridge when we get there, I guess. And then what I've been doing with animation this whole time, I haven't really been doing lots with it ever since I graduated from Ray's. I want to, be able to, do some stuff with animation, whether it be modeling buildings and stuff like that. But ever since I started university, and like it's been pretty hectic, me and my family just welcomed my daughter into our lives, and she's a handful. My son, he's going to be 2 soon, and holy fuck, he's all over the place. He's jumping off the walls. He has us on our toes, we'll say that. Wanting to do that stuff with animation and that, it's just finding the time to sit down and actually be able to do that, because with animation, you got to be ready to sit your ass in front of that computer for fucking hours to get that shit done. Perfecting my animations, like I remember my animation instructor saying, what would make you better is going back to the basics, like getting that ball and making it look good when it's bouncing, basic bounce, or, really perfecting your basic walk cycle and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to go back and do stuff like that. There's some scripts that I've written, like little comedy shorts and stuff like that I think I want to turn into animated shorts. Like me, I'm nowhere near as good as I should be with animation, like with a lot of stuff that I've been doing. I got to really work on my modeling chops, my 3D modeling stuff. And, some of my old classmates that were in that were fucking loads better than me at 3D modeling. So I think I'll get in touch with them and, see if we can collab on some animated shorts and stuff like that. If there's a topic or something that you want me to talk about, or you want to be a part of the seance, like give me a shout and maybe we could work something out. But with the way things are going, I highly doubt that's going to happen for a long while, like unless there's like strict restrictions and all that stuff going on. But maybe we could do something like that, and shoot me a message or anything, and maybe I'll talk about it. Maybe we'll get you in on a call or something like that. But I guess I really wanted to do this video as a little introduction and what you could see on the podcasts and stuff like that. So thank you for joining me for the seance. I'm going to try and put out a seance video at least once a week. So like and subscribe my channel to keep up to date on whenever those come out. And thanks, guys. I'll see you on the flip side. Deuces.